The universe is not silent. It's constantly transmitting information directly into your consciousness. Your brain, this 3-pound universe of neurons and electrical storms, isn't just processing your day-to-day reality. It's functioning as a quantum receiver, an antenna tuned to frequencies most people never learn to decode. Throughout history, we've called these transmissions by many names: intuition, synchronicity, divine guidance, gut feelings. But modern neuroscience combined with quantum physics is revealing something extraordinary. Your brain is literally designed to receive information from the quantum field itself. The question isn't whether the universe is speaking to you. The question is, have you learned the language? Today, we're exploring the neuroscience of quantum communication, how your brain decodes messages from the field, and more importantly, how to amplify this reception to navigate your reality with precision. Let's start with a truth that bridges ancient wisdom and modern science. Your brain operates on multiple frequencies simultaneously. Neuroscientists have identified 5 primary brainwave states: delta, theta, alpha, beta, and gamma. But here's what most people don't understand. Each of these frequencies connects you to different layers of information in the quantum field. Beta waves, your normal waking consciousness, keep you locked in sensory reality, processing the material world. This is your survival frequency, essential but limited. Alpha waves open the gateway. This is the frequency of relaxed awareness, where your analytical mind softens and your intuitive receptors activate. In this state, the barrier between your localized consciousness and the non-local quantum field becomes permeable.
Theta waves, the realm of deep meditation and that twilight zone between waking and sleeping. This is where quantum communication becomes explicit. Brain imaging studies show that in theta states, the default mode network quiets and entirely different neural networks activate. These networks don't process sensory data from your environment. They process information from sources your 5 senses cannot detect. The pineal gland, often called the third eye in ancient traditions, produces DMT naturally during deep meditation and dreaming states. Modern research reveals this gland contains crystalline structures, literal crystals inside your brain, that respond to electromagnetic frequencies. Your brain isn't just soft tissue. It contains quantum biological structures specifically designed for non-local communication. The quantum field is an ocean of information. Every possible outcome, every potential reality, every solution to every problem exists there simultaneously. Your brain's job isn't to create this information, it's to tune into the right frequency and decode the transmission. Now here's where neuroplasticity becomes critical for quantum communication. Your brain's ability to receive these transmissions isn't fixed, it's trainable. Just as your muscles grow stronger with exercise, your quantum receptivity strengthens with practice. Every time you quiet your mind and enter receptive states, you're literally building neural pathways that enhance your connection to the field. The anterior cingulate cortex and the insula, regions associated with interoception and intuitive knowing, physically expand in people who regularly practice meditation. These aren't metaphorical changes, these are measurable increases in gray matter density. You're biologically upgrading your quantum antenna. But here's the paradox: the louder your conscious mind, the weaker your reception. Your analytical brain, dominated by beta waves, creates what neuroscientists call neural noise, constant mental chatter that drowns out subtle quantum signals. Think of it like trying to hear a whisper at a rock concert. The whisper is there, but your environment makes it imperceptible. The quantum field communicates through subtle frequencies, gentle knowings,
soft intuitions, barely perceptible impulses. Your thinking mind, with its constant analysis, judgment, and narrative building, creates interference. This is why breakthrough insights rarely come during active problem solving. They arrive in the shower, during walks, right before sleep, moments when your conscious guard drops and theta waves emerge. The universe wasn't absent during your struggle. You were just transmitting too loudly. To receive. Neuroplasticity means you can rewire this. Through consistent practice of mindfulness, meditation, or any activity that induces flow states, you're training your brain to toggle between frequencies, to know when to broadcast and when to receive. Ancient wisdom called this being still and knowing. Neuroscience calls it shifting from sympathetic to parasympathetic dominance. Different languages, same mechanism. You're teaching your nervous system to trust the quantum signal.
The quantum field doesn't speak in words, it speaks in frequencies, and your limbic system, your emotional brain, is the translator. This is crucial to understand. Emotions aren't just reactions to your environment, they're information carriers from the quantum field. That sudden feeling of unease before something goes wrong, that inexplicable excitement about an opportunity before you have logical reasons to pursue it, that deep knowing that you need to call someone, only to discover they desperately needed to hear from you. These aren't coincidences, they're quantum data transmissions decoded through your emotional system. The heart in particular plays a shocking role in this process. Your heart generates an electromagnetic field 5,000 times stronger than your brain's. The HeartMath Institute's research reveals that your heart receives intuitive information milliseconds before your brain does. Your heart is your primary quantum receiver. Your brain is the interpreter. When you feel something strongly, a resonance, a repulsion, an attraction you can't explain, that's quantum information bypassing your logical filters and arriving through emotional frequencies. But here's the trap. Unresolved trauma, chronic stress, and emotional suppression create distortions in your limbic system. It's like having a radio with a damaged receiver. The signal is still being transmitted, but what you're picking up is static, interference, or false signals. This is why emotional healing isn't just therapeutic, it's essential for quantum communication. When you clear emotional blockages through therapy, breathwork, or somatic practices, you're literally restoring signal clarity. The cleaner your emotional instrument, the purer the transmission you receive. Moreover, the quantum field responds to your emotional state. When you're in elevated emotions, gratitude, love, peace, your heart generates coherent electromagnetic patterns. Coherence creates resonance, and resonance amplifies reception. You receive more clearly when you feel clearly. This is the neurological truth behind why solutions often arrive when you stop forcing and surrender into acceptance. Surrender isn't giving up, it's tuning your emotional frequency to match the field's transmission. Now let's talk about how quantum messages manifest in your physical reality through your Reticular Activating System. The RAS is a network of neurons at your brainstem that acts as a gatekeeper, filtering which of the 11 million bits of sensory data per second reach your conscious awareness. Here's the quantum mechanism. When you receive intuitive information from the field, your RAS begins filtering your reality for physical evidence that confirms that transmission. This is what we call synchronicity, meaningful coincidences that seem too perfect to be random. They're not random. They're your brain, programmed by quantum communication, recognizing patterns in reality that validate the information you received. You think of someone and they text you. You need specific information and a stranger mentions it in passing. You feel called toward a certain path and opportunities spontaneously align. These aren't the universe bending reality for you. These are your quantum-attuned RAS recognizing pre-existing patterns that were always there but invisible to your previous frequency. The quantum field shows you the path by making you capable of seeing what was always present, but synchronicities require action. This is where most people break the circuit. They receive the intuitive hit, see the synchronistic sign, but then override it with logic. That's just coincidence. That's not practical. That doesn't make sense. Your neocortex, your rational brain, can't comprehend quantum logic. It operates on linear causality. The field operates on probability clouds and non-local connections. When you consistently ignore synchronistic guidance, you're training your RAS to stop filtering for it. You're teaching your brain that these signals aren't important. The communication doesn't stop. You just become blind to it. Strengthening this requires what neuroscience calls pattern recognition enhancement. The more you acknowledge synchronicities, even small ones, the more your RAS prioritizes them. You're rewiring your perceptual filters. Keep a synchronicity journal. When meaningful coincidences occur, document them. This conscious acknowledgement tells your brain, "This is important. Show me more." Within weeks, the volume and clarity of synchronistic guidance amplifies exponentially.
Your ability to receive quantum communication isn't static, it evolves. And neurogenesis, the birth of new neurons, is the biological mechanism of that evolution. For decades, science believed you were born with all the neurons you'd ever have. We now know that's false. Your hippocampus and olfactory bulb generate new neurons throughout your life. These new neurons represent potential, blank slates that can wire into networks based on your experiences and focus. Here's the quantum application. When you deliberately practice receptive states, you're not just using existing neural pathways, you're creating entirely new circuits specifically designed for quantum communication. It's like upgrading from AM radio to high-definition satellite reception. But these new neurons only survive if they're utilized. If you generate them through meditation or flow states, but then return to constant mental noise and survival mode thinking, they die within weeks. Quantum receptivity requires consistent practice, not because the field stops transmitting, but because your biological receiver needs maintenance and development. Exercise, particularly aerobic exercise, dramatically increases neurogenesis. So does learning new skills, deep sleep, and omega-3 fatty acids. These aren't just health practices, they're quantum communication optimization strategies. When you care for your brain's physical structure, you're enhancing your capacity to receive non-physical information. There's also the concept of neural pruning, the brain's elimination of unused connections. Every time you choose logic over intuition, reaction over reception, fear over flow, you're pruning your quantum circuits. Your brain interprets non-use as irrelevance. The encouraging truth, at any moment you can reverse this. Through deliberate practice of receptive states, you can regrow these pathways. The brain's plasticity means your quantum antenna can always be rebuilt, refined, and strengthened. It's never too late to hear the field clearly. Here's the final key to quantum communication. Coherence is the gateway. Quantum coherence means all parts of you, your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and nervous system are aligned in the same frequency. When you achieve coherence, you become transparent to the field's transmission. Incoherence creates distortion. Your mind wants one thing, your heart feels another. Your body is stuck in stress patterns. These mixed signals create internal static that make clear reception impossible. Neuroscientifically, coherence is measurable through heart rate variability. When your heart rhythm patterns become smooth and ordered, your entire system synchronizes. This state enhances intuition, increases creativity, and amplifies your sensitivity to quantum information. The practice is accessible. Focus on your heart center. Generate a genuine feeling of appreciation or gratitude. Breathe rhythmically, 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. Within 3 to 5 minutes, your system naturally moves into coherence. In this state, quantum communication becomes effortless. Information flows not as thoughts you have to search for, but as knowings that simply arise. Solutions appear fully formed. Guidance becomes obvious. This is the state mystics accessed through prayer, shamans through ritual, and meditators through practice. The mechanism is identical, achieving internal coherence to receive external transmission. The quantum field is always broadcasting. Coherence is your access code. Your brain is not an isolated biological computer confined to processing only what your senses report. It's a quantum interface designed to receive information from dimensions your eyes cannot see and your hands cannot touch. Every intuition is a transmission. Every synchronicity is a sign. Every unexplainable knowing is the quantum field speaking your native language, the language of consciousness itself. The universe has never been silent. We've just forgotten how to listen. Neuroplasticity reveals that your receptivity isn't fixed, it's trainable. Every moment you choose stillness over noise, presence over distraction, feeling over forcing, you're tuning your antenna to higher fidelity. The ancient teachers called this prayer or meditation or contemplation. Modern science calls it coherence, neuroplasticity, and quantum resonance. The vocabulary doesn't matter. The mechanism does. You are not separate from the intelligence that orchestrates galaxies and guides migrating birds across continents. You are an expression of that intelligence, equipped with a nervous system designed to receive its guidance. The question has never been whether the quantum field is trying to reach you. The question is, are you ready to receive? If you felt something shift while watching this, hit that subscribe button. This channel explores the intersection of neuroscience and quantum mechanics, the science of how consciousness communicates with reality. Drop a comment below sharing one intuitive hit or synchronicity you've experienced recently. When you acknowledge these transmissions publicly, you're literally training your RAS to recognize them more frequently. You're literally programming your brain to receive more clearly. The quantum field is speaking to you right now. Every insight you had during this video wasn't random. It was transmission. Time to start listening.